I have some pretty awful news. Last month, a bulk carrier ship with a huge payload of oil was improperly moored to a dock. The ship got loose, it drifted away from the safety of the port, and it ran aground on the Neal reef, off the coast of two of the Solomon Islands, called Rennell Island and East Rennell Island. After swaying around in the wind for a week or so, the hull of the ship was damaged by the coral, and its payload of oil, some 700 tons of it, began to leak into the waters around the reef. This has continued for weeks, and now the oil spill extends more than 6 kilometers away from the ship. For the local people, this oil spill has been nothing short of an existential threat, as it's killed or scared off all of the fish that they hunt for food. Nothing can live in the oil-tainted water, so everything that's been exposed has swam away, and there's nothing left. There's nothing left for them to fish, and it's not like the people could go fishing in the first place, because the people can't even get in the water anymore because of this thick film of black oil sludge. Some of the most affected villages include Vangu, Lavangu, Matanga, and Kangava, among many others, and because they've all been deprived of their ability to feed themselves because they can't fish anymore, they have to import food from the capital, from a city called Honiara, which is on an island more than 150 miles away. So importing all of the food that they need to survive, there's a time constraint, it takes a while to get that food there, and it's expensive. It's costing them a lot more money than their traditional way of life, which was to sustain themselves largely by fishing. Paul Neal is a resident in the village of Lavangu, and he, rightfully, has strong opinions about the oil spill. Mr. Neal said, quote, "Now we cannot use our sea and reef to do fishing and find shells to eat. We really suffered from it." Unquote. Steward Suka also lives on the islands, and he said, quote, "The oil slick affects our corals and marine life. It also contaminates our water, which comes out from the stones on the land near the beach. So now we run out of clean water to drink." Unquote. So this isn't just depriving them of their food, it's depriving them of clean drinking water. Mcqueen is a provincial disaster officer, and he told reporters that some people were, quote, "experiencing skin burns after the oil stuck on their body." Unquote. The humanitarian aspect of this disaster is bad enough, but there's also the serious risk that the oil spill will reach the habitats at the southern edges of the East Rennell Island, which includes unique limestone formations, a large lake and forest habitat, and the largest raised coral atoll in the world. This coral atoll is a World Heritage Site, and the UN describes it as, quote, "a true natural laboratory for scientific study." Unquote. Now, disaster relief efforts are ongoing, but many fear that they aren't fast enough. There's the risk that an upcoming low tide will destabilize the oil tanker, causing it to fall over and spill more oil faster. Where this oil leak is, where it's a pretty steady leak right now, it could quickly become a gushing wound. Environmental activists and local residents are really worried, because this disaster could completely upend their way of life. If it destroys this reef, and if it permanently keeps life away from the islands here, then their traditional way of life has been destroyed. It is no more. And if they want to continue living that way, if they want to continue that lifestyle, they'll have to move and settle some distant islands that still have a healthy reef system. Lawrence Nadua is a spokesman for Oceans Watch for the Solomon Islands, and he thinks that things are going to get much worse before they ever get better. He said, quote, "The communities around Lagu Bay, with an estimated 300 people residing along the coast, will not be able to have fresh fish for food for an unknown length of time. It is only a matter of time before the oil reaches the World Heritage Area." Unquote.